Well, I did not choose a candidate, but I gave the governor the pros and cons of the candidates. I thought there were many good ones. It was clear, I always said to the governor, and it's always been one of my goals, that there should be upstate representation statewide. Congressman Higgins would have been a very good candidate, and I told the governor that. But I did stress upstate as a important issue. You know, you don't have to be from upstate to do a good job representing upstate. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn. Hopefully I do a pretty good job up here in Western New York. But it's always good to have someone from the area. You know, there were lots of people who helped African Americans, lots of presidents, but you could understand why the African American community felt having one of their own was important.
Senator, what about the fallout from this process? There's a lot of criticism of Governor Paterson and everything going on with Caroline Kennedy that said that there's a lot of issues within the Democratic Party statewide.
Yeah, I think we'll all come together. Obviously, you know, the governor said it best himself. I talked to him fairly often during this process, and, you know, he was weighing the pros and cons. But he weighed them out loud, and he said he shouldn't have done that, and he probably shouldn't have.
You agree with that?
But the bottom line is that we now have a nominee. She's a capable person, she's a hard-working person, she's an effective person, and she's going to have to learn the state, just as anyone from any one part of this huge state of 19 million people has to learn the other parts. And by the way, she has to come here to Western New York. Congressman Higgins has already said that he will help her and take her around, as will I. But I think now the job is to fight for New York. We're at a crucial time. We have a big stimulus package. We have lots of changes in health care and education and energy, making sure those policies are good for America, but also making sure that New York benefits. The House delegation's doing that. Having 2 senators do it is good.
Senator, what do you like most about
Look, can we let this end, you 3 have been this end gets a chance.
Senator, do you think that if you agree with some of the criticism of the way the governor's office has leaking some rather disparaging facts about this candidate?
We don't know who did these leaks, and I'm not going to get into that. The one thing he said, which I do agree with, is his sort of play-by-play description probably wasn't the right thing to do.
Will you work actively to prevent the party primary?
Well, the best thing that I can do is help Kirsten Gillibrand be a good senator. Help show her the ropes, both here in the state and in Washington. And if she's a good senator, the rest should take care of itself.
How much will her refer does she need?
Well, she's a good congresswoman, and she's done a good job there, but I was a congressman for 18 years. One of my first visits was the Dupengeezer Dairy Farm in Wyoming County, 900 cows. I learned all about it, and I've become an active supporter of dairy farmers. I didn't know a thing about dairy farming when I was a Brooklyn congressman.
But isn't that the point, Senator? I mean, you talked about experience here, and here you have a senator who is just in her 3rd year of a...
Well, we've had lots of people come to the Senate who have had experience in other walks of life. I think she's a very capable person, and I think that the people of Western New York will find that as she comes and visits and as she becomes senator.
Does the presence of her on the ticket next year and the Republicans perhaps targeting her take the pressure off of you as you seek re-election?
I never feel the pressures off me. As all of you sort of know.
Did you ever have the sense that with Hillary Clinton you were perhaps in a little bit of a shadow?
No, you know, that's
sort
of media talk. This is a big state, 19 million people, a lot to do. And to have a strong, good partner is the best possible thing for both senators.
Senator, would you recommend that she...
I'm going to make this the last one on this subject.
Make more visits to Western New York. We see a lot of you. We didn't see so much Hillary Clinton.
Yes, I would suggest she visit New York, I would suggest she visit Western New York early and often. And in fact, she ought to stop at Charlie the Butcher and learn about beef on weck.